All right, hello, my friends. Today is Monday, which means art day. So, our art activity today is to paint with yarn. How exciting! All right, my friends. So, in your Ziploc bag, you have yarn, a long piece of yarn. Now, what you need to do is you're going to cut your yarn because we're going to use different colors. So take your long piece of yarn and cut it into shorter pieces. How many shorter pieces? That depends on how many colors you want to use. So now I just cut my yarn. I was able to make 4 pieces, so that's how many I'm going to use. Remember, we do not mix our paint. Never do we mix our paint. We always clean off whatever we're using before we dip it into a different color. So this yarn is only going to be dipped into one color and then it's all done. We cannot dip it into another color because you do not want to mix your colors, okay? So today we are going to use our spiral notebook for our yarn art activity. So go ahead and flip over your scarecrow if you put him in there. If you didn't, then flip over the last thing you did and come on to this page. Now, what I want you to do, this is going to be a little bit tricky, is one blank paper, I want you to fold it over. See how I just did that? See how it's folded over? So we're not touching this one, we're going to touch this one. So see how this is folded? See that? All right, so this is what we're going to do. Is we're going to open up what paint colors you want. Since it's fall, I think I'm going to use fall colors. So I'll open up my red. Remember, I only have 4 pieces of yarn, so I only can use 4 colors. So I'm going to open up red, orange, yellow, and I'll do green because it's still just past fall. So those are the 4 colors that I'm going to use. Remember, when you're all done, to push these down, make sure they're snapped all the way because we do not want to spill paint at mom and dad's, grandma's and grandpa's, and aunt and uncle's house, okay? So this is what you're going to do. On one sheet of the paper, you are going to put your yarn into the paint, and then you're going to put it onto your paper, and then we're going to push it down, and we're going to see what happens when we open it up, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to take my one yarn, and I'm going to put it into my red paint, just like this. Now this might get a little messy, so make sure you don't get paint everywhere. This is a good idea to have your tray here so that your paint isn't going everywhere, okay? All right, after I put my yarn into my red paint, you see my red paint on there? I am just gonna put it into only half of the paper. Remember how we did this? So open it up, but we're only gonna put it on half of the paper, and I'm gonna put it like a little wiggly worm, just like that. Okay, I'm not done yet. Now I gotta get my next string, my next yarn, and I gave you this, so make sure you're using the one I give you, not mom's or dad's blanket yarn or something. And you're gonna put this inside of the next color, whatever color you chose. You're gonna dip it in there really well. You don't need tons of paint, just enough to coat on it. So there's my orange one, and I'm gonna put my orange one on here as well. And I'm gonna make it go a different direction. All right, now I'm gonna put my next string, and I'm gonna put it in my yellow. So just push it in there. Don't push too much because you don't want the paint to come out of the tube. Okay, and you don't have a lot of paint in your tubes, so you don't want to waste the paint. All right, there's the yellow on my yarn. There we go. Let's put this one on. Squiggly wiggly. And then let's get our last piece of yarn, and we're gonna dip it into our green. Get it all the way. Now, as you see, I'm not putting my yarn all the way in. I'm still leaving a little bit to be able to pull it out of there, okay? So that's a good idea for you to do as well. All right, after you get the green, there's my green string. And then go ahead and put that, and you can actually lay them across each other. It's however you want. This is your art. You make it into however you want to do. Now we're ready. We're gonna fold it over, and let's find out what happens. Squish it down really well. Squish, 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 squish. All right, can you see? On the part where there was no paint, we can see paint here. All right, let's find out what happens. Open it up. And look. Now when we start taking off the string, watch what happens. See how the green? We didn't put it over here. It made its own. Let's take off the yellow. Look, the same that's here is the same that's over here. The orange, what's here is what's over here. The red, what is here is over here. This is called mirror painting. Mirror painting. It's like looking in a mirror. So what you put on one side is what you see the reflection of the other. So what we painted on one side reflected onto the other side of the paper. Look at how cool that is. And of course you could go back and put this in the yarn, in the paint again. Just don't mix the colors. So this is the yellow yarn. I would put it right back into the yellow and I would do it again. Only put it onto one side, fold it over, push it down, open it up, and take it off, and you'll see what happens. All right, I'm really happy with mine, so I'm going to leave mine just the way it is. If you have more yarn or you want to make smaller pieces so that you could do all the colors, you could do that as well. Have fun with this, my friends. This is your art piece. This is however you want it to be, but only do it on one side, all right? This week we're talking about colors. That's how come we're doing multiple colors on our art activity. How fun. And I love to paint. I hope you do too. Of course, this is washable paint, but please do not get it on anything except for your paper. Sometimes it'll get on your hands. When you're all done, go wash your hands with soap and water and it will come off, all right? Do not get it on your clothes. Do not get it on the carpet. And if you do get it on anything else but paper, please make sure to tell an adult so they can clean it up right away. All right? All right. I'm proud of you guys. We'll see you later. I can't wait to see your art. Make sure mom and dad send it to me. Bye.